Good evening. You are watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. First, the headlines. The 22nd meeting of the GCC Ministers of Municipal Affairs is held in the Governorate of Muscat. The Education Council organizes a forum on endowment's role in supporting and financing education. And Produce Water Middle East 2019 conference discusses its role in sustainable development and economy. Those were the headlines, and now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Edgar Lungu, President of the Republic of Zambia, on his country's independence anniversary. His Highness Sayyid Asad bin Tariq Al Said, Deputy Prime Minister for International Relations and Cooperation Affairs and Special Representative for His Majesty the Sultan, attended today a tea party hosted by Emperor Naruhito of Japan at Akasaka Palace in Tokyo. The party is held on the occasion of the enthronement of the new emperor and attended by a number of world leaders and representatives. His Highness Sayyid Badr bin Hamad Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, accompanied His Highness Sayyid Asad. Assigned by His Majesty Sultan Qaboos, His Excellency Dr. Yahya bin Mahfouz Al-Mandari, Chairman of the State Council, leaves the Sultanate tomorrow for Azerbaijan to lead the Sultanate's delegation to the works of the 18th Summit of the Heads of State and Government of the Non-Aligned Movement, which is due to be held in Baku on the 25th and the 26th of October. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, received in his office His Excellency Dr. Abdul Latif bin Rashid Al Zayani, Secretary General of the Gulf Cooperation Council, who is currently visiting the Sultanate. During the meeting, they reviewed the ongoing preparations for the 16th Joint GCC Defense Council meeting, which is going to take place in Muscat in the coming days. The meeting will be attended by Their Highnesses and Excellencies, the Ministers of Defense in the GCC countries. His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Saud bin Harib Al Busaidi, Minister responsible for Defense Affairs, received Michael Marroy, Deputy Assistant Secretary of U.S. Defense for Middle East Affairs, Chairman of the American side in the Joint Omani-U.S. Military Committee, which holds its 15th meeting in Muscat. During the meeting, they reviewed the committee's work and military cooperation fields between the two friendly countries and discussed a number of matters of common concern. Enhancing bilateral relations between the Sultanate and Iran topped the discussions of His Excellency Yusuf bin Alawi bin Abdullah, Minister responsible for Foreign Affairs, with His Excellency Dr. Ali Asghar Monsan, Assistant to the Iranian President and Chairman of the Cultural Heritage, Handicrafts and Tourism Organization in the Islamic Republic of Iran, currently visiting the Sultanate. The meeting reviewed fields of joint cooperation between the friendly countries, means of enhancing and developing them. Her Excellency Sheikha Aisha bint Khalfan Al-Siyabiya, Chairperson of the Public Authority for Crafts Industries, met with His Excellency Dr. Ali Asghar Monsan, Assistant to the Iranian President and Chairman of the Cultural Heritage, Handicrafts and Tourism Organization in the Islamic Republic of Iran. During the meeting, they discussed means of mutual cooperation, enhancing relations in the handicraft sector, and exchanging experiences to promote and develop craft industries. The 22nd meeting of the GCC Ministers of Municipal Affairs was held in the Governorate of Muscat. The meeting discussed urban strategy and the GCC countries and approved 15 symbols of buildings in the GCC countries. The meeting showed that the governments in the GCC countries will keep on implementing new urban projects along with expanding municipal work systems. The meeting also focused on the integration of the municipal works and the importance of cooperation in the field, which serves various society segments. The meeting's agenda included the importance of preserving traditional architectural style in the urban areas. A visual presentation was given by the Sultanate before the GCC ministers on its experience in the rehabilitation of Old Market in the Wilaya of Sur. The meeting was presided over by His Excellency Ahmed bin Abdullah Shahi, Minister of Regional Municipalities and Water Resources. The Education Council organized a forum entitled Endowment's Role in Supporting and Financing Education. The opening ceremony was held under the auspices of His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Muhammad Al-Salmi, Minister of Endowments and Religious Affairs. More details in the following report.
The educational endowment in the Sultanate is a historical heritage that has been rooted since ancient times. It was derived from the teachings of the Quran and Sunnah. The Forum of Endowment's role in supporting and financing education comes to revive the role of the endowment and create a partnership in supporting education between institutions, governments, and various segments of society. One of the fruits of outputs of the role of endowment was the establishment of an endowment institution to support education titled Siraj, aiming at renewing the developmental role of endowment in sponsoring education and supporting its programs, and finding a variety of sustainable sources to boost education in addition to supporting the needy students of science and various educational programs. Enriching working papers presented during the forum dealt with the successful international and regional experiences in the field of educational endowment, including a review of the experience of Koç University in Turkey in the field of endowments of higher education, and the experience of governance and sustainability of endowment in Malaysian universities, in addition to reviewing the experience of King Saud University in this aspect. Moreover, the National Strategy for Education 2040 has not overlooked the role endowment in financing education to find sustainable and alternative funding sources for the education sector.
The Produced Water Middle East 2019 conference started its Works Day in Muscat with 20 scientific papers presented by international experts. The conference was held under the auspices of His Excellency Hamad bin Said Al-Aufi, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi.
New technologies and approaches for produced water treatment and international scientific and applied experiments in this aspect topped the discussions of the Produced Water Middle East 2019 conference.
Produced water challenges are huge in the world and especially in the Middle East, as we heard in the conference. I think that these challenges can become opportunities. All this produced water, almost 1 million meter cube a day, can be fully utilized in different areas, in agriculture, in industries, and other applications as well. I think we are a dry country, and we need to use this water very efficiently and professionally.
More than 200 specialists and speakers from government agencies and private sector companies from inside and outside the Sultanate took part in the conference to discuss the achievements in the field of produced water in the Sultanate and the extent of utilizing produced water for industrial and agriculture purposes. The conference also touched on the economic, social, and environmental impacts of produced water.
We started our journey for sustainability more than 10 years ago on produced water. We inject a lot of water for reservoir pressure maintenance, but that doesn't take away the entire problem. So we started to find out innovative ways of solving the problems. Nima reed bed is a great example of that, using produced water in the Mira project for generating solar steam, for drilling construction, for what you call it, biosaline agriculture, for brick making. So we come up with innovative solutions on top of the normal re-injection that we tend to do anyway.
The event endeavors to unify the efforts of all sectors concerned with water, exchange knowledge and expertise, review the Sultanate's experience in the field of produced water, and the development of risk management systems for the environment and nature. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Salih Bakhalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Omar Al Marhoun, Minister of Civil Service, Chairman of the Board of Directors of the Institute of Public Administration, received in his office Their Excellencies, the Chairman of the Institutes of Public Administration of the GCC countries. His Excellency confirmed at the meeting the importance of these meetings in exchanging successful experiences and administrative practices between the GCC countries. From their side, Their Excellencies, the chairpersons of the Public Administration Institutes, stressed on the role of these meetings in benefiting from applied administrative practices in all GCC countries. Their Excellencies, the Directors General of Institutes of Public Administration at the GCC countries, discussed in Muscat the plans and suggestions that supported and enhanced cooperation in the administrative field between the Council countries and updating plans in line with the latest development efforts. The meeting also discussed the field of administrative developments in addition to reviewing the developments at the institutes of the GCC countries. The meeting was chaired by His Excellency Zeki bin Hilal Al Busaidi, CEO of the Public Administration Institute. The Royal Army of Oman, represented in Musandam Security Force, continues the implementation of the Omani-British joint exercise Musandam Fort 1. The activities of the exercise are being conducted in the mountainous areas of the Governorate. It came within the framework of raising the level of preparedness and training of the participants in terms of combat performance and military operations. The exercise aims to enhance military cooperation between the Omani and British sides, as well as keep in line with the plans of the Royal Army of Oman of developing the capabilities of its affiliates. The Royal Army of Oman RAO, represented in the Infantry Brigade 11, implemented the practical demonstration of Al-Hasm Al-Sari'a exercise for the Rapid Reaction Force with live ammunition. The demonstration was implemented with the support of the Royal Air Force of Oman, Royal Navy of Oman, Sultan of Oman Artillery, and Sultan of Oman Armorers. It came within the framework of continuous training plans by RAO to enhance the efficiency and preparedness of its affiliates. The exercise was presided over by Major General Amir bin Salim Al-Amri, commander of the Sultan's Special Forces. The Supreme Committee of Shura Council members' elections for the 9th term held its 6th meeting at the committee's premises. The meeting reviewed the needed preparations for the voting process next Sunday, the 27th of October. The committee discussed circulars issued by the main committee of elections and the published legal decisions. The committee expressed its satisfaction on the followed procedures during the remote voting period, which finished on the same day, praising the role of the Ministry of Interior in developing the voting process, using modern techniques that gave an opportunity for citizens outside the Sultanate to participate in the elections smoothly. The meeting was chaired by Honorable Dr. Khalifa bin Mohammed bin Abdullah al-Hadrami, Deputy Chairman of the Supreme Council, the Chairman of the committee. Still to come on News Bulletin. A 22-year-old Roman sculptor turned dead tree stumps into magnificent pieces of art.
ال27 من أكتوبر يوم التصويت لانتخابات أعضاء مجلس الشورى للفترة التاسعة. صوتك أمانة. مع تحيات وزارة الداخلية.
Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. The Sultanate participates in the preparatory meeting of the foreign ministers for the 18th summit of the non-aligned movement countries in the capital of Azerbaijan, Baku. The ministerial meeting discusses a number of issues concerning the member states, such as the Palestinian cause, the role of the United Nations, international peace and security, and the final draft document of the 18th summit for the heads of the member states in the non-aligned movement, besides other topics which will be submitted to the conference that will be held on the 25th and the 26th of current October to be approved by the leaders. The Sultanate's delegation in the meeting is presided over by His Excellency Sheikh Khalifa bin Ali Al-Harthi, Under Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs for Diplomatic Affairs. The Oman Logistics Center organized a forum as part of implementing the National Strategy 2040. A number of experts from both the public and private sectors took part in the forum. It aimed to facilitate trading and commercial operations and aspects related to international logistics, as well as reducing the cost of accomplishment of transactions. The forum was considered a great opportunity to exchange expertise in logistics field, as well as focus on the latest developments. A seminar was held at Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry on the mechanism of combating harmful practices in the international trade and its role in protecting Gulf industries. The seminar comes within the GCC Days activities, which are hosted by the Sultanate. The seminar will help taking necessary actions against these practices like dumping, pricing policy, and the increase in the import. The seminar will also throw the light on the new law, its provisions and application. The role of the GCC Secretariat General in protecting Gulf industry from international trade. Air Vice Marshal Matar bin Ali Al-Abeidani, Commander of the Royal Air Force of Oman, received Air Chief Marshal Rajesh Kumar Singh, Chief of Staff of India, and his accompanying delegation currently visiting the Sultanate. The meeting exchanged cordial talks and viewpoints, in addition to discussing a number of topics of common concern in the military fields. The 15th meeting of the Joint Omani-American Military Committee was concluded. The meeting discussed listed topics on the agenda, which included military cooperation fields existing between both friendly countries. The Omani side was chaired by His Excellency Mohammed bin Nasser al-Rasbi, Secretary General of the Ministry of Defense, and the American side was chaired by Michael Marroy, Deputy Assistant Secretary of U.S. Defense for Middle East Affairs. The minutes of the meeting were approved in the presence of the committee members of both friendly countries and the military attaché at the Embassy of the United States of America in Muscat. The Ministry of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth signed a memorandum of understanding with the Ministry for Primary Industries in New Zealand. The memorandum was signed to promote and develop mutual cooperation between Oman and New Zealand in the fields of agriculture, fisheries, and food security. The memorandum is also aimed at promoting trade cooperation between both countries. The memorandum was signed by His Excellency Dr. Hamad bin Said Al Aufi, Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries Wealth, and His Excellency James Monroe, Ambassador of New Zealand accredited to the Sultanate. Andrea Gandini, a 22-year-old Roman sculptor, is making a growing name for himself by turning the Eternal City's dead tree stumps into much admired pieces of art. Here's a report.
Gandini, who began his tree carvings around 5 years ago, chipped away at his 66th stump, a sculpture of a wolf, the symbol of Rome, in the huge Villa Pamphili Park. He has plenty of raw material to work with. Rome is known as one of the greenest cities in Europe, with its 313,000 trees filling its many parks and lining the streets in the city centre. However, many were planted during the 1920s and 30s and are now old or dying. Seeing how they are neglected made Gandini want to bring the stumps back to life and give something back to the people of Rome.
Realizzo queste sculture fondamentalmente perché mi piace, è una...
The sculptures are everyone's. Once they are done, they are not mine anymore. They are only mine while I am working on them. I don't want to make people think it's enough for me that they feel an emotion, that they get a thrill, that their heart beats a bit faster when they see my work.
Che è la cosa che amo di più fare, perché posso vedere...
Gandini, who grew up in Rome, first started sculpting in his garage as a teenager 4 years ago. Now he gets commissioned to create tree sculptures all over Italy. He explores the capital looking for the right type of stump, one that's large in size, in a good condition, not rotting and without any fractures. Gandini maps the stumps on his website, and the sculptures are becoming a tourist attraction, even being included in guided tours. His Instagram account has reached almost 7,000 followers. His 66 stumps, dotted everywhere from busy shopping streets to famous gardens, have completely different faces and styles.
Non c'è un concetto di base, a me basta molto meno, nel senso...
The face that emerges is neither a portrait of someone in that street or an idea of mine. It's simply the trunk itself that reveals its own form.
In the famous Orange Garden that overlooks the city, he created a large male face with closed eyes from a stump. In the popular tourist district of Trastevere, a sculpture of the legend of the female pope, Pepisa Giovanna, still garners attention despite having decayed by pollution over the few years since it was carved.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's news bulletin, here are the main points once again. The 22nd meeting of the GCC Ministers of Municipal Affairs is held in the Governorate of Muscat. The Education Council organizes a forum on endowment's role in supporting and financing education. And Produced Water Middle East 2019 conference discusses its role in sustainable development and economy. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, thank you for watching and have a good night.